Hello, good morning. Today is Saturday, May 12th, 2018. My name is Kim Matina. I am a Google certified trainer and a top contributor in the Google for Education Help Forum. Today, I wanted to bring to you some information about Google Classroom that I think you may find helpful, especially end of the year procedures I wanted to go over. I also wanted to go over uh, PDF Mergy. If you never heard of PDF Mergy, I will go over that app. And I wanted to go over Jamboard integration with Google Classroom. So without further ado, let's get started. So let me share my screen. Okay, so right now what I'd like to do, this is my little checklist of some things that I'm going to go over. And what I'd like to do first is I'm going to go out of order a little bit here. So being part of the Google for Education forum, I see a lot of people asking about notifications and because their inboxes are getting flooded with email notifications. So I just wanted to go over that with you. So if you go into Google Classroom and you go to the menu and you go down to settings, this is where you can go in and you can change your email notifications and kind of control what you receive in your inbox. You can turn these on by toggling the little switches here, but the only thing that you have to remember is that this is a one-stop shop deal for all of your classes. So if you turn off this setting here, comments on your post, and you turn that off, that's going to be across all of your classes. It's not just for one particular class. So you got to keep that in mind. But you can definitely go in here and change your settings for your notifications. And if your inbox is still getting flooded, you can also create an email filter that will tag certain emails if you like and move them into a folder in your inbox. But that would be for another show. So that's your email notifications. Another thing that I wanted to go over was print-in assignments. So some people do like to print out student assignments. And the best way to do that is instead of printing one assignment at a time and then going back into Google Classroom and finding the student and doing it one by one, that can be time consuming. You can use this app called PDF Mergy, and it's free and you can download it from the Chrome Web Store. Just be aware that there is an extension. You want to download the app. So this app will allow you to select multiple files from either your computer or your Google Drive, and it will merge them all together into one PDF file. So I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to select files from my Google Drive, and I'm going to go right into my classroom folder, and we'll go into my practice class, and I have some files in here that I created before I did the show. So let's select some more files from Drive. I'm going into Classroom, my practice class, and I want to print all of these files. So I have 2 files so far, and I'm going to do one more. My classroom folder, go into my class, and this is my assignment, and I want to print that out too. So you could see here I have 3 files that I want to download as or merge as a PDF file. So what it's going to do now is going to merge all of those files into one PDF, and you can select your files either by assignment or by student and have them merged all together into one file. It's up to you. You can save the PDF to your computer or to Google Drive. So I'm going to save it to Google Drive, and I'm just going to name it. The default name is merged, but I can just I'll call it the same name as my class. And now I'm going to show the PDF in Drive, and it opens up the PDF file, which was 3 separate files. And you can see here I have all of my files that I selected in my practice PDF file. And then from this point here, you can hit the print button and it will print all of your documents out as one PDF file. So this would print 5 pages. So this is a cool little app that you can certainly try and use. It's not hard to implement. And if you wanted to go into Drive, you can certainly see that it saved the file right in my Drive as practice.pdf. So I would try, if you are a person that is still printing files and need hard copies of information, I would definitely recommend the PDF Mergy app. So with that said, we're going to move on to the next thing. And I want to go over some end of the year tips that you can implement with Google Classroom. So the first thing that you should do is return and grade all of your work to the students. Make sure that all of the work is graded, everything is returned to them, and if you want, you can export those grades at that point. If you try to export grades when you didn't grade the work or return it, then you're going to get invalid information in the spreadsheet. So 1 and 2 go hand in hand. You want to return and grade all work, and if you would like, you can export the grades to a spreadsheet. The next thing that you can do is hide the classroom calendar in Google Calendar. So if I go into my Google Calendar here, I can see here under my calendars, I have my classroom calendars here. And, you know, this can actually become very busy, because if I'm teaching 6 or 7 classes, obviously I would have more calendars listed here. So at the end of the year, in order to wipe it out, you can hover over your class and click on the snowman menu and select hide from this list. And it just removes it from the quick access area for your calendars. So this is a handy little trick that you can do to clean up Google Classroom. Another thing that you want to do is you want to archive your classes. So in order to do that, you would go into your class card screen, which is the dashboard. And once you see all your class cards here, you can simply click on the 3 dots, which is the snowman menu, and you get an option here to archive. So I would archive the class, and basically what this does is it allows the students to, they cannot be active in the classroom. They can't comment, they can't turn in any more assignments. It really just kind of, it locks it down for them and for yourself. You'd still have access to it, but it just prevents students from being able to be active in the classroom. So this is highly recommended that you do this at the end of the school year. So you hit archive, and then it removes it from your class card screen. Now, some teachers still like to access the archive classes because there are some assignments that you want to access or reuse the post, and you can still do that in Google Classroom. So you can keep the class archived. You don't have to delete it right away, especially if you feel like you're going to reuse some of the posts. So with that said, you can keep the archive class here. The only thing that I would recommend is I would go into Google Drive, because when you archive a class in Google Classroom, it doesn't do anything to the class folder. So if you go into Classroom, if you go into Drive and go into the Classroom folder, you could see here that my demo class folder still exists. And this, like I said, if you're teaching a lot of classes, this folder will accumulate and it will show all of your classes, whether they're archived or deleted or active. So what I would recommend is that you create a folder called archive. So I would actually do this at the root at my drive. and I would create a folder called School Year 17-18 Archived. Oops. And what I would do here is I would simply take my demo class and I would move this folder to my school year 17-18 archived classes. And that way it cleans up your classroom folder. And there it is. So you can certainly move your folder into an archive folder. You can also create the folder in the classroom folder. That's up to you. You don't have to make it at the root. You can certainly create the archive folder in the classroom folder itself. So if you wanted to, you can create the folder in the classroom folder also. It's up to you. But the point is that I would, in order to clean up Drive, you have to create the folder and move the folder in there. Google Classroom doesn't automate that process. You have to manually do that. So if I go into the demo class archive folder, you can see that my assignments are still in here. So it's just a little bit of manual labor that you have to do in Drive if you would like to keep your Drive organized. And some people do. They're really good with file management. So that would be one thing that I would recommend. And if you were totally done with the class and you're not going to use the class anymore, just say it was a class that you created to have students just take a survey and you don't need the class, you would still have to archive the class. And then once it's archived, you can delete it. And then that way it will remove the class card from Google Classroom and you don't have to worry about seeing it anymore in your dashboard. So with that said, I can restore the class if I wanted to. If I wanted to restore the class, I can restore it also. But with that said, the end of the year information is all accessible through the settings, and then you can certainly go down to archive classes. So I wanted to go over those tips with you for end of the school year. We went over print and assignments, set and notifications. Now Jamboard. So Jamboard is another app that is included in the course suite of G Suites. It is actually an Android app that will allow you to access on your mobile device and Chromebooks that are accessible to the Android Play Store or the Google Play Store. However, you can still use the Jamboard web app. It's just limited. So if you're a school that is using Chromebooks that are Android, that are accessible to the Android store, I would highly recommend trying out Jamboard because it's a great app that will allow students to create jams, and they can brainstorm on it, they can create timelines, they can actually collaborate and share on jams together. They can integrate it in Google Classroom. So I'm going to give you a little demo on that right now, but just keep in mind that this app is really best used if it's used with a device that is accessible to the Play Store. So if you'd like to get this app, you have to go to the Play Store. Now, remember, I'm on a Chromebook that has Android, that has the capability of accessing the Play Store. So I would just search for Jamboard and I would install it. And once it's installed, it's going to show up down at the shelf. And this is what a Jamboard looks like. So It's going to allow students to, you can actually have students create timelines. You can have students do research on it. They can share it with each other and work collaboratively on it. But this is something that I just created here, a technology evolution timeline, and I can go through it and I can write on it. I can insert pictures. I can draw on it. I can give feedback on it. I can search the web. I can do a lot of things with this app here. So I just want to go over, my jam with you. Over here, this is the toolbar here. So I can draw on it. I can erase. I can pick different colors. I can lasso it. So if I wanted to delete this, just say I wanted to delete this box, I highlight it and oops, I didn't want to delete my computer. So let's do this again. And I just drag it down to the bottom. I can insert post-it notes here. This is, I can insert information from Drive. I can insert or search the web with this icon. I can insert images. I can give student feedback with emojis and different icons here. I can insert post-it notes. I can insert a picture if I wanted to. So using your webcam. So this is the toolbar here. And up top here is another menu that you can collaborate. Students can collaborate with and share. They can rename it, remove it, obviously. They can download it as an image if they wanted to, or they can save it as a PDF. So with that said, the quick overview of Jamboard, I want to take this jam and I want to insert it into Google Classroom. So I am going to go into, let me get out of this, Google Classroom. I'm going to go into my class and I'm going to create an assignment, and we're just going to do Jamboard. And what I can do here is I can insert the jam through the Drive icon, because jams show up now in Google Drive. So I can simply click on the jam file and add it. And just like any other file, I can give students view-only access to it. I can give them edit rights to it, or I can make a copy for each student. And remember, it depends on what type of device you're using. So if you are using a device that connects to the Play Store, the students need to use the app to get the best experience from it. But if you're using the web-based version, really it's the most limited way of using the Jamboard, and they will only be able to have view rights to the file. So with that being said, I can make a copy for each student, assuming they're on the right device, and hit assign. And at that point, just like any other file, it's going to make a copy of that jam for that student when that student opens up the assignment in Google Classroom. So right now I just gave the assignment and I attached the jam to it. Now if I wanted to, let's see. Oh, I can't do, yeah, I can't share my screen because I'm going to be going into another user account. But I can actually switch over. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on. I think we're going to be in business here. Okay, so now I'm in a student view and I open up the assignment, and you can see here the Jamboard has my name attached to it renamed the jam file with my name on it, and I can open it. Okay, we'll use the app. Let's see what happens. And this may be a little tricky here because I'm going back and forth between two accounts. But you can see here the jam is accessible to me, the student, and I am able to view the file. Um, I can go into the file and I can um, write on it if I wanted to. Okay. And I have access to the file at this point here. So Jamboard, the point of this was to show you that Jamboard does integrate with Google Classroom now, and it is a great it's a great app to at least try it out with students. Let me get back into, here we are. It's a great app to use with students for collaboration, and they can take their jam and they can download it as an image, which is really nice, and insert that into Google Keep. And they can share that Google Keep note with you if they use Google Keep, and you can give feedback on the Google Keep note to them. They can also download it as a PDF file and possibly insert that into a Google slide or a Google Doc, and they can collaborate in there as well. So Jamboard, even though the hardware, the Jamboard board is the actual hardware, you don't necessarily need the Jamboard to use the app. The app is free, and it's a great app to allow for students to brainstorm, like I said, collaborate on timelines, do research, anything that they're working on for their projects. They can certainly do that in Jamboard just like they would in Google Docs. So with that said, the last thing that I want to go over with you is providing the team feedback. So the team is always looking for feedback on Google Classroom. And if you have a great idea that you would like to see implemented in Google Classroom, or if you find some kind of issue or problem that you want to address, you can certainly leave your comment or your concern in the forum, but you can also leave the team feedback on an idea or suggestion by clicking on the question mark at the bottom. You can ask a question here, you can send feedback to the team, and you can include a screenshot for the team so that they can see the actual screen that you're referring to, and you can describe your idea or your issue right here. So if you do have an issue, an idea that you would like to see implemented in Google Classroom, please fill out that feedback form, because that's going to help the team improve the interface for the users. The team, they do read all of the feedback and they do prioritize the feedback accordingly by how much they're being in demand, I guess. So with that said, I'm very happy to bring all this information to you. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. Let me get I should have did this before. Let me show you my email. So if you want to reach out to me, you can email me at sweettalkshow@gmail.com. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel here, and you can certainly view my website, where I will have the notes and the show link on my website, which will be under the episodes page, and it will show up right here. I will have the next today's episode YouTube link and show notes listed here. So with that said, I hope you found this episode helpful. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. All right, have a great day. Bye.